All right, now it's calling. Okay, so I got the site downloaded. Sorry, we started to get it downloaded. It's one of those sites. Your site's actually kind of large, and it went over. It triggered a the sandbox. It triggered a oversized alert, and I wasn't able to download it. So I had to get Chris to fix that for me, and now I've got it down. So that's why I'm getting back to you today. Okay, so there's a couple things going on here. Tablet and mobile. Here's what I'm going to suggest first of all. On this page, I'm going to use this page as an example, and then you can reply to me and let me know if there's other pages. But there are certain situations where you will probably want to switch, and I'm going to show you a little trick here, and I'm going to do this for you. And that is, we're going to look for the column large. What we're using here is a column large 9, and we're going to switch that to a column small, because what's that saying? Large is for desktop, so if somebody is on a monitor of 1170 pixels and up, this is where the column large comes into play. Anything below that, it's going to break down and be mobile too early and then not look good. So I'm just going to try something here where we do the class equals. Watch it. I'm going to do this little trick here. I'm going to go edit, find and replace. Right? We're going to look for everything that says class equals col dash large, then hyphen entire current local site, and I'm going to replace the LG with SM for small. Okay, I think this would be a better approach. We'll give it a shot. We'll do the entire site. I'm going to hit replace all. Okay, because you have a lot of pages, and it's probably better to use find and replace in certain situations. And we'll see if that does the trick. So yeah, there was like yeah, you got 787 documents, and we discovered there was 497. Doing that by hand would have been a real nightmare. But first, let me just see if that worked, and I'll preview the page here. There it is, right there. Okay, so. All right, what we got going on here? Let me just see if I can refresh this first. Nope, found the problem. This particular page has a space right there. When I did the find and replace, there's an actual space between the quote and the column. So we're going to have to look for that as well and do a find and replace on those. Okay, so it tells me there's 115 of those found with the actual space in it. So maybe it's just a copy and paste thing. So let me just save. I'm just trying to get to a point where we can then maybe make a couple of custom styles, but I want to see if we can do some major quick updates here for you. Okay, so now we're sort of jump into problem number 2. Not problem, but just things I'm going to highlight you on is the image width right here. It's set to 265 by 143, which is fine. But when an image is slightly smaller than the maximum resolution of the page, right, it's not going to fill up the page perfectly. And there's a couple of things in here that I noticed in terms of getting the alignment of the pictures just right for mobile. I'm going to do some tweaks. Tell you what, I'm going to put the video on pause. I'm going to do some tweaks, create some mobile styles, particularly for this light box here, and see if we can get things to at least line up in the center of the page, which is what the problem is we're having right now. They're right here. There's the light box there, which is perfect for mobile, but the picture itself, basically what we want to do is, I'm thinking we need to get these pictures center aligned, remove the margins, because you see how they stack from one to the other? That's because there's a negative margin of 12 pixels on the light box right here. I found it earlier anyways. It's on here somewhere. There. See the projects image 3? There's a negative left margin of 12 pixels. Well, that's fine for the desktop view, but not for the mobile view, right? And that's where each image is getting pulled 12 pixels further to the left, right, than the previous image, and it looks kind of weird. So I'm going to create some mobile overrides that target just a mobile device, okay? And then we'll get these pictures centered, okay? So when you go down to the one column, basically when you're down to one column like this, we're going to see if we can get these pics to be center in the page as opposed to all weird and over here. So I'm going to put the video on pause while I do that. and make some updates for you. Okay, so this is just for this page here, because it looks like this was the big one right here, this portfolio page. And what I've done is I've added some styles. Basically, I've said, okay, so when it's less than a full screen like this, when we're getting into the mobile down here, so this way we can sort of have different screen sizes, as you see, but everything's going to stack one on top of each other like so, and we still get the nice effect of the pop-up here, okay? But things are going to stack, and I've removed the margins that are being applied and whatnot. So I'm going to send this to you for the style2.css. I'm going to copy and paste this in right here. This is the modified styles that I made. Okay, you know what? Tell you what, I'll send you the video first because I've updated the entire site. Just let me know if there's any other pages that you have particular concern for, and I'll take a look at those, because you have 700 whatever pages in the site. So just give me a couple of examples. The green was one of them with the images on it, but let me know if there's another one that you have a particular issue with. And I want to see if I can do some site-wide style updates for you, as opposed to, you know, sending you sites back and forth and whatnot, because I don't know what your most important pages are. Because when you said you wanted to make it responsive, it already is responsive, so I want to see what you're missing now. I've hit a target of making sure that you got the column dash small dash and then the number. And if you're working within columns, you should be good. But when you're using aftermarket portfolios and things like that, then that's when it gets into you may need to do some custom or have some custom styles made to overwrite things that aren't. Because the styles that are here for this whole thing, I didn't see a here for the whole projects. That's applied to mobile and to desktop, whereas what you really need to have is a media query to say, when at this resolution and above, do this, or when at this resolution and below, do that, right? You need to tell it to do different things, especially if you're going to be adding margins and paddings and certain very specific style things to have them aligned a certain way on a certain device. So if all looks good, if you want though, I can just zip up what I've done and send it over to you. But I didn't want to, it's a big site, so I didn't want to be sending things back and forth and doing all that. But if there's another couple of pages you had some specific concerns about, let me know what those are, and then now that I have the site open, I'll take a look at it. And first of all, see if my changes made any fixes, fix those pages as well, and if not, I'll be more specific.